Hello everyone and welcome to the hands-on demo on AWS CodeDeploy. So in this demo, we will create IAM roles for CodeDeploy and EC2 instances. We will launch and configure EC2 instances with CodeDeploy agents. We'll create a CodeDeploy application and a deployment group. We'll prepare a sample web application with deployment configuration. We'll create and upload application revision to S3. We'll execute a deployment using CodeDeploy. We'll test the deployed application and monitor deployment status. And finally, we'll clean up all the resources. So this is the visual representation. So we start with IAM. We'll create two roles, one for the CodeDeploy service to be assumed and one for EC2 instance profile, so that it can assume a role, so that it can execute some CodeDeploy actions. So this will go into EC2 instance and this will have an agent and CodeDeploy agent, and that will use this role to basically talk with our code deployment service. Next, this particular role will have permissions to actually talk with S3 and basically pull the application from S3, and this will have a this is part in the code deployment, which is the application preparation. So we have sample web application, deployment configuration, application revision, and this is will be residing in S3 bucket. And CodeDeploy has something called as deployment group that has deployment execution, and we'll monitor our application, we'll test it, and finally we'll clean up all the resources. So first step is to create a CodeDeploy IAM role. So I'll copy the role name. This is the service name. So we'll create a role that can be assumed by the CodeDeploy service. So I have logged into AWS console home, and first I have to search with IAM. So click on IAM. Click on roles. Create role. So I'll paste CodeDeploy. Select CodeDeploy. So just choose the first option, CodeDeploy. Next, it has inbuilt CodeDeploy role permissions policies, which is fine, I think. Yes. And we'll provide a role name. So I'll copy the role name. So click on next. Paste the role name. And this has the managed CodeDeploy service. So permissions policy and create role. So you can click on view role. So this is the first role that we have created. Next, we'll create a second role that will be assumed by EC2. So I'll come here. I'll open this roles in a new tab and click on create role. Select EC2. Click on next. And then we have to provide some permissions. So first, so this is the managed permission policy, Amazon EC2 role for AWS CodeDeploy. So because this is a typical use case, so they have a managed policy. So just select it. So this is one of the permission policy. Second, Amazon S3 read-only access. Paste it and make sure you select it. So now, if you click on next, provide the role name. So I will call it EC2 CodeDeploy role. Paste it. And you will see the two permissions policies. And click on create role. So the role is created. I can just click on view role. So I can just keep track of how many objects I am creating. So next we will launch EC2 instances. So I come here and search for EC2. I'll open EC2 also in a new tab. And this is the first EC2 instance. I will call this as CodeDeploy demo instance 1. So click on launch instance. Paste the instance name. You can keep the default AWS AMI, Amazon Linux 2023. And you can choose the instance type. So you can keep the free one. So you can choose T2 micro or T3 micro is also fine. So I just go with the T3 micro. It's because it's free tier eligible. But in case you don't see this, you can choose the T2 micro also. Next, key pair name. So I'll just create a new key pair. So I'll copy the key pair name. So I'll just call this code deploy key pair. Create key pair, and I will just save it to my code deploy demo folder. So I'll just replace it and make sure you select the key pair. So in case you have any other, you can choose that also. So I have using this code deploy key pair. Okay, and coming to network settings, choose the default create security group and allow SSH traffic from, you can say, my IP, and just make sure you select allow HTTP traffic from the internet, because we will be using this particular for testing later on. Next, okay, this is the network settings. Configure storage will be default, and if you come just expand advanced details and make sure you select the role which we have just created, EC2 code deploy role. So this is an important setting. And if you scroll down, there is no other change, but except that we will provide some metadata. So this user data, basically when it the instance is launched, this will be run, and this is basically doing a yum update. Then it will install the Apache web server. Then it is CD to that. Then it will install the code deploy agent onto this machine on this location. It is doing a chmod +x for execution, and then it is doing an install. After install is successful, it is doing a systemctl start the service, the code deploy agent, enable the service, and start the HTTPD Apache web server and enable the service also. So copy the whole user data and paste in the user data section, and with that you can click on launch instance. So let it start, and meanwhile I will create one more instance. So this is getting launched, and I will come to the, so I'll just click on instances. So this is getting initialized. So in meanwhile I will create one more. So launch instance, paste, and actually I need to provide one additional tag. So I'll provide this tag called environment and add new tag, and this should have a value of demo. Rest all settings are exactly same as the other one. So I'll just quickly make all those changes. T3 micro, key pair login is same. Network, so you can choose the other one also which we have just created. So here you can say launch wizard 1, so which was created just now, and storage is default setting, advanced detail section, and make sure you select the EC2 code deploy role, and you have to provide the user data. So this is the launch wizard 1 setting, and last is the same user data. So this will also be part of our code deploy application. Okay, and click on launch instance. So if I go to the instances and refresh, so this one is running, but I forgot to add a tag. So this has name, so I'll say manage tags, add new tag, and I will call it environment and value of demo. Click on save. So this is initializing, and this has the tags and as well as the other one. So this both will be part of code deploy later on based on our configuration. So okay, next we'll create an application in code deploy. So I will go to the code deploy service. I will open CodeDeploy in a new tab. We'll create first an application. So I'll copy the name. So if you go to the applications, create application, paste the application name, and there are 3 platforms which are available: EC2, AWS Lambda, and Amazon Elastic Container Services. So I'll say EC2 on premises, means one of them. So I'm saying EC2, create application. So the application is created. Next, we'll create a deployment group within that application. So I copy the deployment group name. So you will be landed onto the application screen. So underneath that, create deployment group, paste the name, and then service role. So you will, as soon as you select, you can it will let you choose the service which we have created, CodeDeploy service role. So this is different from EC2 instance profile role. And deployment type, you can select the default which is in place. So we'll say in place. And environment configuration, we will say Amazon EC2 instances. Amazon EC2 instances. And we have to provide that how it should identify the EC2 instances. So based on these tags, it will identify the right EC2 instances which are part of this deployment group. So environment, and tag value is demo. Okay, and moving. So after that, so it has automatically found that there are 2 matching instances. So agent configuration, so this is, we don't need that. And deployment settings, you can keep default, CodeDeploy, default, all at once, or you can have one at a time, half at a time. So these are the possible configuration. And we'll select load balancer as enable. So we have to basically disable load balancing. And under advanced, triggers, alarms, disable rollbacks, and so these are all the default settings. Amazon EC2 instances, environment. So agent configuration, so we'll say never, because we are installing directly through the user data. Okay, so this is in case you want to route the traffic like based on some percentage, like based on how your application is servicing traffic and all. So this all settings are fine. So I'll just say create deployment group. So this deployment group is created. So there is one setting, rollback when a deployment fails. So this option is also available. Okay, now coming to this is created. Now the application. So this we will be uploading this application as a zip onto S3. So the application name is my web app. So this is the file structure. There's appsec.yaml, index.html, and there are 3 shell scripts. So I'll just open that in Visual Studio Code. So under my web app, under scripts folder, there are 3 files, and this index.html basically we will see this CodeDeploy demo application being shown. So I'll just make it. I'll just say version, first version. So I'll save the file. So this is our first version. Then later on I'll make it 2.0, and this file will be deployed via this appsec.yaml file. So this is the name which CodeDeploy will look for. So it will look for files source. So and under zip, index.html will be available at the root, and where it should copy. So this is the default location for Apache Web Server, and overwrite if it's already there. Second, make sure the permissions are like this 644, and owner and group is Apache. And inside that there are some, you can have some hooks like before install, application start, and application stop. So Before install dependencies, start the server and stop application. So if I come to install dependencies, we are basically updating or installing Apache HTTPD, and we are starting the server and stop application. Even though this has already been covered through the user data, but I'm showcasing how to have shell scripts or bash scripts which can be executed by your code deploy. So this is our application and we have gone through all the files. So first you make sure that you just make all the scripts executable. So I have to go to my web app folder. Okay, and I made the scripts executable. Next, I will create a S3 bucket. So I'll go to S3. So I think I have to first zip. Okay, let me create the S3 bucket and then I will zip it. So I'll just create a bucket. I'll paste the bucket name as it is and all the default settings. Create bucket. Okay, next we have seen the folder structure and we have gone through the files. Next, I just have to cd ... and zip the file. So I'm saying this create a zip file with this particular folder contents. So when I do cd ... I will go to this particular folder and then I'm creating a zip file. Now I will upload it to S3. So this S3 bucket, test bucket, I will upload, add files, and this is the file which I just created, and click on upload. So the file got uploaded. Next, I will create a deployment. So under inside code deploy service, applications, my web app. So deployment group, everything is created now. Next, we have to create a deployment. And just the default deployment group is there in place. My application is stored in Amazon S3 and the location. So location you can copy from here. So if you just close it, just select the zip file name and copy S3 URI and paste it. And revision file type is zip. There are other options like tar, tgz and targz. So I'll just say .zip. This is optional. And let me check the settings. So just keep all the default settings. And deployment group overrides. So this is the default which comes with the deployment, this particular deployment group. So this is a default setting. And disable rollbacks. So you can roll back when a deployment fails. Now you can have the option to override. So I'll just say here and click on rollback when a deployment fails. And click on create deployment. So deployment is created. So now this is doing a deployment at this point. So 2 of 2 instances updated, succeeded. And if I scroll down, this is the revision location and these 2 instances got updated with the file. So now we will test it. So we can take one of the URL or both the URL and make sure that the application shows up. So if you just refresh here, so this is also running. All the checks have been successful, and I will just take one of the demo instance, select one and go to the networking section. Okay, here itself you can get the public IPv4 address. I'll just copy this and open this. So we can see code deploy demo version. So this is the our application. So you can select the other one also. So we'll take the other one, take its public IP, and this is the second application. So we have done the first round of test. Now what we'll do, we'll just add a 2.0 in the title. So come here and after version 2.0 and there's a h1 tag. So make sure you add in the h1 tag because this is more visible. This is in the title like a tab window. So this is a bit harder to see. So bit harder in the sense if I come here, if I just do a mouse over, I will see this particular version. So this is this one and h1 will show up here, right? And if you want to change some color and all, you can do that. So I'll just copy here and actually this was the other. So I'll just change this to, let's say, or I'll just keep it as it is. Okay. Okay. And now I will deploy the second version after making the edit to the file. So now I'm saying zip again with the new file name and my web app folder. So the file name is different this time and it has created a new zip file. Then upload the second version. So I go to the S3 bucket, upload, add files, choose the second one, upload, close, and now we have two versions. We'll create a second deployment. So we come to the deployment and if we go to the deployments, so as you will see that deployment name is given or ID is given by the service itself. So you cannot give your own name. So if you come on to the code deploy applications and deployment ID, deployment configurations. So I have to go to the applications and here under deployments. So it's under deployments, right? So create deployment. So now just select the default one because we only have one deployment group. And again, we have to provide our second v2 zip file. So select it and copy S3 URI and paste the location. And rest all settings are fine. I didn't change anything before also. I'll just select the diff, keep the same option. And click on create deployment. So this will immediately start rolling out the deployment. So this also succeeded and both instances got updated with the new file. So if I just do a refresh, so you see version 2.0 and click on refresh. So version 2.0. So we have successfully tested the upgrade also. And we have seen the revision details and we have tested okay, it's working fine. Lastly, we'll just do a cleanup. So we have to clean up, we have to delete the application. So go to the code deploy service and under applications, because application is a superset unit. So we can just select the application and so you have to select the application and inside that there is a delete application button and type in delete. So as soon as you delete the application, you'll see all the other configuration also gets deleted. Next, make sure that you terminate your EC2 instances. So select both of it, instance state, terminate, delete, and click on terminate delete button. So it is now getting shutting down status. Make sure you empty your S3 bucket. So I come to S3 bucket, and so basically I can just go to the buckets and select the bucket, empty, permanently delete, and click on exit. Click on the bucket name once again and click on delete. And now you have to copy paste the bucket name and click on delete bucket. So our bucket also got deleted. Next we'll delete the two rows. So I'm on this screen, EC2 code deploy role. So you can just click on delete here. And next is to delete the other role also. So this is EC2. So this is the code deploy service role. So delete. And click on delete. So this is deleted, and just make sure that you check after sometimes, and this should be in terminated state, otherwise you will incur some charges if it is not part of free tier. And this is also gone, and we can delete the security groups also. So under EC2 instances dashboard, if you come here on to the security groups, so there is a launch wizard one which it created as part of this demo. So I can click on actions and delete security groups. So currently this is being because it's still getting terminated, so that's why it is. So I can delete the key pair because I don't need the key pair. So I select the key pair and actions, delete. And let me try security groups once again. So actions, delete security groups, and click on delete. So if I just refresh, so that security group also is deleted now. And that's all. Thanks for watching.